Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to be working on a MacBook that appears to have a couple of problems. Let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with this MacBook and make it work again. I'm hoping that if I model how to do a repair for you, that you'll be able to do it for yourself and the others around you, and spread the happy craft of repair to as many people as humanly possible. Because there's little more that makes someone happy than the feeling that they get when they make something work again that was totally dead when the manufacturer said you weren't supposed to be able to do that. And maybe, just so maybe, kind of a runner-up there is when you save somebody a lot of money, or when you save yourself a lot of money. It's a good feeling. It's a rewarding feeling. We're going to try and make that come to life today with this A1707 MacBook Pro. I hope you're all in good spirits. Hope you're all having a happy day. If you're not having a happy day, I hope you have a happy day soon. Everybody deserves to have a happy day. I would be happier if I had my ventilation on in my office, personally. TCRS circuit is here. I'm going to have to talk to you later tonight when I get some time. Something I'd like to involve you with, Mr. Tim. Any tips for someone who can't find work and will get screwed soon if you don't find a job? Stop looking for a job. Bypass the middleman. What are you good at? What can you do? What services can you offer to the people around you? I was never good at finding a job, man. If you're looking for advice on finding a job, I ain't it. I've never been good at finding a job. I don't know how to do that. I do know how to go on Craigslist or whatever and say, I know how to do this. Here's the price. Or put up pull tab signs in the middle of a park or a pizzeria. Like, that's really, But yeah, the whole traditional model of finding a job, I don't know how to do that, man. I don't know. And the whole reason I have a business is because I don't know how to get a job. My mother would always say, when are you going to get a real job, Lewis? Someday, I hope you have a real job. Maybe someday I will get a real job. All right, so as you can see, this MacBook appears to have some fresh spill damage on it. Some powdery substance over here. Strange smell. I'm not going to lick it because I'm not an L. An L was punished recently for his licking of the board earlier. Some things we just don't tolerate here at Rossman Repair Group. Okay, so we've unplugged the battery. Now, first thing I'd like to do is, after just unplugging the battery, I'd like to see how many amps this board is taking. My mom forced me to get a bachelor's degree and go to university. Your mom isn't really capable of doing that, actually. That's not something that she has the power to do. Your mother has the power to tell you what you're doing until you are 18 years old. After 18 years old, that is all on you. So it looks like this is taking 19 to 20 milliamps. 19 to 20 milliamps, but not booting or starting up. Stuck it at 19, 20 milliamps. So we're going to take the board out of the case and see if there's anything obvious that would be causing this. Typically that's a missing PM sleep S4L on the older machines, but rent-free. So, okay, so what you're doing is you're choosing to live rent-free over, listen, this stuff's up to you, man. It's all up to you. You can have 3 roommates and live in a shithole. You could have 3 roommates and live in a shithole or live in a place that's filled with termites. There's always a place out there. Your parents, after you're 18 years old, can only force you to do things if you're unwilling to go outside of your comfort zone. You need to be willing to go outside of your comfort zone a little bit. You have a sticky substance over here. I really hope it's not a nasty liquid. Do you have a house in New Hampshire yet? I don't know. It's not up to me yet. That's up to the process. I will say I am closer to having a house in New Hampshire now than I was a week ago. Actually, I have something in this envelope that is part of the process as well. The idea is kind of nerve-wracking, but I think having a place that I can call my home that, as the world loses its mind, is not necessarily a bad thing. Got an A1466 to fix. I'm coming for your job. I hope you kick my ass, Decoder. I hope you kick my ass. Lewis, you need to get a real job where you put on a suit and rot away in an office being a slave for a company that doesn't care about you. Yeah. My mother passed away about around a month after I got my first business loan. If you even want to call it a business loan. It was a dude that I met at a studio that said, here's $7,000. Give it back to me by next year. So she never actually got to see what this turned into. She just saw the beginning part of it. Me living in a place filled with termites, Me going, you know, from place to place, waking up at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning for my first job at 8, getting back to my apartment in a disgusting shithole around 11 o'clock or 1 in the morning. But she never got to see the end of it, unfortunately. She never got to see what it turned into later on. A place that employs people and is known around the world and teaches people stuff and all that. She never got to see that part of it. I wonder what she would have thought. Probably would have said the same shit, honestly. Probably would have said the same shit. That's not a real job. Why don't you get a real job? I don't have gloves right now, no. I'm maybe just a little out of practice. Even worse, Lewis became a YouTuber, the worst of real jobs. I don't really consider this a job, honestly. I'm not saying that you can't do YouTube as a job. I don't see it as a work. I don't see it as a job for me. If for other people want to do it as a job, I wish them the best of luck and being a slave to an algorithm. And I'd almost rather have a boss than an algorithm. Even if your boss lies to you, you got to think about this. Even if your boss lies to you, even if your boss screws you, cheats you, you can see your boss. You can meet your boss. You can have a conversation with him. You can at least look at his face to get an idea of what's going through his head. But with an algorithm, I mean, like, what do you do? I mean, you can't speak to it. You can't reason with it. You can't try to, you can't figure out what mood it's in that day. And most people on these platforms are essentially, they are a slave to an algorithm. And they have to, and like, when you rely on this platform for your income, you have to give a crap about that stuff. You know, like, why did video A do better than video B? And it really isn't AI farting. Hands doing the sign of the horns with sparkles around. Okay, that's an interesting one. Thank you. In your opinion, how hard is it to get a job in the U.S. being an immigrant, planning to move to the U.S. as fast as possible? I don't know. I mean, again, I feel bad because you paid me, but you're asking the wrong person. I couldn't get a job even not being an immigrant. Like, the reason I have a business is because I was incapable of getting a real job. I was not good at getting a job. I didn't have any, it was never something that I was good at. I guess it depends on the job you're looking for, the market. I still think that America's a great place to start a business. Want to do something. Again, if you're expecting to like go on Monster.com, send out 30 resumes, and have a job, this probably ain't for you. If you want a place where you can build something from nothing and turn it into something, if you're willing to work your balls off, then this is the place for you. I still think that America is a land of opportunity. It's not easy opportunity. I'm going to say it's the best, but there's definitely a lot of opportunity. Do you need money to start a business, though? Not really. If you want to do it the whole fancy schmancy way, sure. I started this with $200. Really, I bought a couple of screwdrivers and like two A1181 screens, and that was that. That was it. A few $100s. That was it. That's what I love about this business. That's what I love about the repair industry, and that's why I fight so hard for it to continue to exist. Because if you want to start a restaurant franchise, maybe $50,000, $100,000. You want to start a lot of other businesses, $20,000, $100,000, $300,000. You want to start this business, like a backpack, a few $100, some basic tools, and you're rocking and rolling. Now again, you may want to, if you want to do more specialized stuff, you may have to build up with some fancier equipment, or you may have to work your way up to that. But man, the barrier to entry here is pretty low, and it allows quite a bit. Okay, now when everything is unplugged, 1.3 amps. So it was something that was plugged into it that was keeping it dead. Now I got to figure out what was plugged into it that was causing it to be dead. This board should go through the ultrasonic cleaner. I don't see any corrosion on it, but you do see that you have a chip over here. Has some nasty looking corrosion on it over there. Not corrosion. I don't want to, Adid. Go. Stop that. Don't tell me what to do. Don't you tell me what to do. I love your content. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Lucky Warren. I appreciate that. Why did they expect you to rip open heat HDD even though it only needed a SATA cable? I don't get it. What do you think of survivorship bias? I think, honestly, 99% of the time that I see people invoking survivorship bias, it's because they don't have an argument for something, or they're salty, or they didn't make it. Like, I've never thought that everybody is like, I don't think everyone will be able to recreate the exact success that I have. The one thing that I can tell you is that if you try, you'll be better off than people that don't try at all. It sounds like it would be too complicated and wouldn't be successful. See, this is what I mean when I talk about survivorship bias. It sounds like it would be too complicated and wouldn't be successful. Okay, I mean, if you that's not really a survivorship bias thing. That's a case of that's really just a case of somebody convincing themselves that I can't get there, so I might as well not try. Here's the thing: it may not work out. Maybe like the year and a half or 2 years that I spent working at a recording studio that got me nowhere. You won't know until you try. Like, you won't know until you do something. And if you don't do anything, then you're guaranteed to not really get anywhere. Things are very complicated. They really are. There's no guarantee that you're going to get anywhere. The only thing I can guarantee is that you're more likely to get somewhere if you do something than if you do nothing. I don't mind having to start a business from scratch and work my ass off. I worry more about the visa. I don't know much about the immigration process. I am very sorry. I apologize. And thank you for the $5, but I don't know much about the visa process. So this board really only needs an ultrasonic cleaning, and something that is plugged into it is keeping it from turning on, which unfortunately makes this one not a board repair. Fairly boring case. All right, next machine. Be right back. Yeah, I mean, you may try to start a repair business, and it may not work. It may fail. It may waste you may waste your time. I can't tell you that everybody's going to be successful doing it. It's just if you don't do anything, you're not going to really get anywhere. And like the problem that I have with the term survivorship bias is it's true. Like, you have these motivational speakers that'll tell you anything is possible. You can do anything you set your mind to. The only thing keeping you from succeeding is your fear of failure. As they're multi-billionaires. And it's like, no, you're probably not going to be as successful as them. You're probably not going to make as much money as them. And you're probably not going to follow in their footsteps. The one thing, I'm not going to bullshit you like that. It's just if you don't try, then you're fucking guaranteed to fail. I don't know where you're going to end up. Again, I wanted to be a recording studio technician. I wanted to be a recording studio engineer. I wanted to be a psychiatrist. What do? I fix MacBooks for a living. And I have a YouTube channel where I discuss fixing MacBooks, post posts of my cat, and talk about why New York City real estate sucks. Is that what I was going for? No. But whatever I did, I just kind of kept following the path, kept trying to do my best at whatever it is I was doing, try to clean up my little corner of the world, whatever it is, and, just kept trying, kept doing stuff. Again, just doing something is going to be better than doing nothing, and that's what I get at. Like, if you start a repair business today, are you going to have 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube, 1,400 Google reviews with a 4.9 star rating? Probably not. Maybe you'll beat me. Maybe you'll do way worse than me. I have no fucking clue. But it really depends on what it is you are. It really depends on whether or not you're open to trying. You're famous among tech guys in Switzerland. Unbelievable. Keep it up. Saving the planet one MacBook repair at a time. Thank you. But I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, you're not the thing that bothers me about survivorship bias is not that it isn't true, because it is definitely a part of it. It's just the people that say that to me, and like the people that have said that, they always strike me as the people that are just fucking looking. They overlap with how do I put this? Let me try to put this here properly. The people that deny survivorship bias exists at all tend to overlap with people who are multimillionaires and billionaires that copy and paste generic motivational junk that's not really going to help you much, but it's good for getting people to go to cheer on a stage and clap like lemmings. And the people that believe in survivorship bias and how it clouds any of the advice that you may give on something, they tend to have this Venn diagram overlap with people that are just fishing for a reason to not get up in the morning. Like fishing for a reason to justify their nihilistic depression and why it is completely worthless to try doing anything in the world. And that's not really any better either. I don't want to give people an easy out. I don't want to give people a reason to be nihilist and not try. I'm not going to do it. Let me get the next Mac. What the fuck is that? Listen to some Rachmaninoff or something. Why is Rohan listening to that? Why is Paul just like a cat? Why are you meowing? Oh my God. All right. Today we're going to try again. Here we have an A1708 MacBook. It does not appear to be turning on. Let's take this thing out, take a look at the inside of the machine, see if we can figure out what's going wrong with it. No, I would lose revenue the coder because you're not allowed to simultaneously stream to Twitch and YouTube if you become a Twitch affiliate. And since the viewership on Twitch is always about 5 to 10% what it is on YouTube, I would actually be shooting myself in the foot by signing an exclusivity agreement with Twitch. The worst part about working with Twitch, above all else, is that when they don't actually tell you how much money you will get via their the ads they put on your videos, how much they share with you. They don't tell you how much you're going to get until after you sign the agreement. So I would have to give up money that I know for money that I don't. And that's the type of business deal that I don't touch. And I also have little to no respect for companies that engage in that type of business deal. When you say, we're going to, so let's say you make $20 an hour, right? Now, if you quit your job where you make $20 an hour, you can never go back to that job. We will pay you what is behind this curtain. What's behind the curtain? We'll tell you once you quit this job that you're not allowed to go back to. Would you do that? So let's say you work at a repair shop. Let's say you work at a shop right now, right? You fix things. And I go to your shop and I say, dude, you should quit your job. Sign this agreement that does not allow you to go back to your old job to come work for me. And you go, how much money am I going to make? And I go, you'll find out after you get hired. How many of you would take that offer? Not a lot. And if you would, you shouldn't. I'll smack you. I think that's dumb. Can't do that. Now, as you can see, right by our 5-volt regulator chip, we have a little bit of corrosion. And that corrosion, it doesn't look good. This is the type of thing where I probably would not want to... Yeah, this is the type of thing where I'm not going... Wait. What happened to my tweezer? What happened to my tweezer? Who last used my tweezers? Okay, so this is no good over here. This is no good. That resistor is no good. It may be able to survive, but I doubt it. This transistor looks pretty bad, so I'm going to want to see if the rail that is created by this transistor is shorted to ground. So I'm going to open up the schematic in the board view for an 820-00840, and we're going to see if this transistor is good or bad. I have a feeling that it's going to be a short to ground on wherever that transistor is. So we're going to find it, Q7660. All right, that is for creating PP5ES4. And now I'm going to turn on the multimeter, get the multimeter on the screen. Okay, it's not shorted to ground. So that transistor is probably not dead. Now let's just take a look at the rest of the board and see if we can get an idea of what's going on with it. Right over here, this is a ROM chip for the USB-C port controller. So this chip over here that you see, that is U2890, and U2890, that is going to be a ROM chip for a USB-C port controller, and that's necessary for you to get 20 volts. So take a look over here. So you have Thunderbolt X SPI MOSI. Now that is going down here. That goes to the USB-C controller. So if that chip is corroded, ROM may be corrupted. If the ROM is corrupted, then we're not going to have this chip, which is the USB-C port controller over here. USB-C port controller, speak to the charger, and get us 20 volts in the charger. First thing I want to do before I do any reflows or anything, I'm just going to plug... Again, you're not supposed to plug in a liquid damaged machine, but this thing has had a battery plugged in for a long period of time, and the customer tried it many times. And we also need to know where we're starting. It's important to have a general idea of where we're starting. It actually says 520 milliamps. So this is already turning on. Honestly, all this really needs is a little bit of cosmetic repair then. So the customer claims it wasn't turning on, yet here it actually is turning on. So most likely a little bit of cosmetics over here. Maybe the corrosion shifted a little bit, and we should be good to go. Granted, this does make for a boring repair job. Looks like the air conditioner in my office doesn't work. It doesn't work.
The front is set to heat, and it's a linked system, so I have to turn that one to air conditioning to have this one air conditioning.
Seriously?
Yeah, because it's the same system.
Oh.
So I'll
I thought I broke it.
No, I'll turn off the heat pump up there and the system turns on.
Oh. Paul, this one already turns on. My board already works. I didn't do anything.
Isn't that wonderful? Yo, you sure you don't have a bad keyboard or trackpad?
Well, it has corrosion on the 51980.
No.
Look at how dirty my tip cleaner is.
That's getting well used. We need a new one sometime.
These, wow, that is beautiful.
That stuff works really good.
Are these T30KN tips getting shittier, or am I just out of practice?
No, they're getting shit.
I noticed that they used to be $37 on Amazon, and now they're up to 50. They went up to 50 when I started linking them. And
they don't last as long.
Supply
There were some comments complaining about that. Oh, we use them too hot and everything. I have always used them this hot, and they used to last a lot.
Oh yeah, the people bitching that it's because you use it at 840. Yeah. But A, we put it to sleep all the time, and B, I was using these at 840 for years. It's only recently that they started to suck.
Yes. People don't want to admit that.
Imagine simping for HAKKO.
You're doing your viewership a disservice.
So how many of these do we go through in a month, like store-wide?
Actually, the last round has been lasting. The last round of tips that I bought actually lasted about 2 months now. There was a group of tips that were just dying within weeks of each other.
Are there any stations other than HAKKO that would be worth it for?
I don't think so. I think HAKKO is the cheapest of the good stuff. Although somebody did send me a station that I have to take a look at. I think it was the Thermaltronics or something like that.
Has Steve brought by Veneera's kitty at all since I've been away? You missed it. That's your fault for going on vacation. That cat was so adorable. She would walk up to me and go. He couldn't. He was too young to meow, so he screeches. Does this ROM for the CD3215 become corrupt from water?
Not usually corrupt, no. But the solder joints are sensitive.
Okay.
No, usually survive that.
Pretty. Pretty. And remember, we're going to green this section like I mentioned in the main channel video so that they still get Wi-Fi. I thought I broke it. So, this board repair video was fairly boring. It just needed some minor cosmetic work, as was the board repair prior to this. This was not an entertaining board repair. It didn't really have any sort of investigative nature to it. It was just kind of boring. One machine simply needed to fit you need an ultrasonic cleaner to figure out which component attached to it was causing the issues. And the other one was much more, it just needed some basic cosmetic look over. And after that, it was fine. That's it for today. I'm sorry if you probably didn't learn anything from this video. See you all in the next one. Bye now.